What's the biggest insecurity that you're working on overcoming?
Body aging. Joan Rivers used to talk a lot about your body aging, how your boobs are gonna be, how your vagina lips are gonna be, or whatever. And goddamn, if she wasn't telling the truth, you know? I had a good body when I was younger. Teenage body, like, perky ass tits and flat stomach, and which is incredible. I would like to have a nice tight waistline one more in my time in my life, but my daughter has forbidden me to have surgery, and I don't want it. In my dreams, I have plastic surgery every night. In my dreams, but I'm never gonna do it. I don't want to wear a foundation garment for a year so that my body snaps into place. A year in the summer, all these enhancements, boob jobs and butt lifts and things like this. You get one thing done, you gotta get another thing done. Then you gotta get another thing done. It's a vicious maintenance cycle. It's really geographical. Like I live in LA. This is the beach community and the beautiful people in Hollywood and movie making. I'm from Arkansas. Nobody in Arkansas cares about any of this shit. Nobody gets plastic surgery. Nobody has tummy tucks. Nobody has Brazilian butt lifts in Arkansas. They just don't do that. And those fat women is married and got husbands that's devoted to them. I would like to lose 60 pounds, but if I don't, I have to be okay with it. It's easier to just, this is what it is. And some people find that confidence attractive.
Curvy confession number 2. The apple-shaped Black woman oftentimes can get overlooked. And I actually did some research. I was online trying to find more information about just like having an apple shape and what sort of the conversation is out there about it. And all the information that came up was like how to hide your apple shape, how to cover up your apple shape, how to look like you have a pear shape or hourglass shape when you have an apple shape. So it became very obvious pretty immediately that having a sort of an apple like rounder shape. Now, when I say apple, I don't mean like, but just a little bit more round. And again, having more of a stomach or carrying more weight in your midsection, it became obvious very quickly that this shape is something that women are really running from. Angie Stone describes her experience being at that time. Now, mind you, Angie Stone has lost a ton of weight, but at that time, many years ago, many of us remember Angie Stone being much, larger in size, and sort of the hate that she experienced in the music industry as a result of her size. Now, she talks about Jill Scott, and she says that Jill Scott was chosen instead of her. Mind you, Jill Scott has never been, from what I've seen, a small girl. Jill Scott has lost weight, but she has never been small. So when you think about that, again, I think it sort of furthers my point about the apple shape versus, say, more of an hourglass or a pear-shaped woman, and also I think there's probably some colorism coming in, that came into play with Angie Stone, not getting chosen for certain opportunities, probably some featureism. I mean, if you look at Jill Scott and you look at Angie Stone, not only at that time was Angie Stone larger in size, or more, I should say, not necessarily larger, but, more round, carrying more weight in her midsection, but also darker. And some of her features may be considered maybe a little bit more Afrocentric than Jill Scott. Carrying more weight in your midsection, potentially causing more negative health outcomes and things like that. But also, is there a point that by where a woman should just embrace her body type? Because the reality is that everyone's not going to be a pear shape. Everyone's not going to be an hourglass shape. A lot of that is genetics. So does that mean that person needs to then go out and do something drastic to change their body type? Or at what point do they embrace that? And how can one embrace it knowing sort of the stigma and the way that they're going to be viewed in society if they don't change it or actively try to change it? So I just wanted to highlight this, this sort of phenomenon with the apple-shaped Black woman. And there are some influencers. There's some influencers online, on YouTube and various other platforms, Instagram, who have decided to sort of represent the apple shape. They're giving women who are shaped like that something to sort of admire, look up to, aspire to, and sort of normalizing it. But yeah, I just wanted to point out that I think that that's really interesting, going back to this idea of your waistline and your stomach having so much, holding so much like value in society, which is also ironic because women have babies. And so, you know, women have babies, you know, if you've ever been pregnant or if you've ever been close to someone who is pregnant, I mean, you know that their stomach, you know, protrudes outward. And oftentimes, even when the baby is out, your stomach may not necessarily snap back to the way it looked before. And even if it does snap back, so to speak, yeah, it's your body just changes. And so this irony of so much sort of validity being placed on the waistline and the stomach to be considered thick, to be considered voluptuous as opposed to fat, and yet women are having babies and their bodies are going through so many changes. And then this expectation of that, regardless of the change, regardless of what's happening with your body, you still need to be snatched. You still need to have, you know, your waistline completely intact and meet certain proportional standards. So, yeah, I'm going to be sharing more. I mean, comment if you like this type of content. Let me know in the comment section. I'm going to be sharing more about the book that I read, Caught Thick. And like this video, subscribe to my channel, and as always, stay tuned for more videos. Bye.